Right then, this is trying to assemble the Kamps micro turbine. Start with the diffuser, the cover on that. Everything's marked with a dot. Where's the other dot? Yeah. We've got some sealing O-rings. Some little standoff washers. And some self-locking nuts. That's down. Okay. Next thing is a tiny little O-ring down the hole for the oil feed pipe. I'll put the oil feed pipe back in from the back. Hopefully the O-ring will stay there. Okay, that's worked. Next we need the shaft tunnel and the front bearing. And this has been machined down to make it a full complement bearing, so it needs to go in with the unmachined face up. Push fit in there, and then that gets joined onto the front of the diffuser. We'll just put a little bit of thread lock on those bolts because we don't want them coming out. The oil pipe snugged in there. Okay, so that's the front half done. Right, the back half So that's for the casing. I've got a nozzle guide vane that fits into that. There we go. And I've got some gasket here made out of aluminium foil to try and seal it against the back of the case. I've got my little registration mark there. Drops through like that. And then we've got the tapped ring that goes on the inside of the assembly. I can't quite see, there we go. One in, the rest should follow. Well, that's what we've got on the inside. One, 2, 3. Okay, it's in there. Next we've got the starting gas injector. It needs to go in because it needs to stick inside the back of the tubes in the combustor. And that needs to be angled so it is parallel to the bore. You can't really see. And then we can slide the combustion chamber in there so that the needle goes down the vaporizer tube at the same time as the fuel connection goes out the hole in the back. There we go, all being well. So we've got the little clamp that holds the combustor in place, combustion chamber. And there's the just pressure tapping. Okay, so that's the front half of the case, sorry, the back half of the case. And we can join that to the front half of the case now. Again, we've got an index mark somewhere on here. There. So that index mark matches up with the fuel supply on the back. Before it goes completely home, now I've got a sealing O-ring, or an O-ring to try and get a seal between the front and back halves. Not sure how successful it's going to be, or even if it's going to survive the case being put together. Just a little bit. And see if we can close the gap up. There we go. Just got to line up the shaft tube at the back end at the same time. We're on, and the O-ring's still in there. Okay, so I've got some case screws in there. I'll put these in with a little bit of sealer as well. Just try and stop them rattling out. Snug them up. Okay, try and get rid of some of this silicone grease. Right, next we've got the preload washer and the spacer, which we're going to put a bit of oil on, because that's supposed to be a nice sliding fit in the end of the shaft tunnel, which it is. And we've got the other preload washer, so I'm using two. And then we can put the turbine assembly in, put a bit of grease on the outside of that bearing, oil on the outside of that bearing as well, because that's a sliding fit in the shaft tunnel. And this has been balanced up as an assembly, the shaft with the turbine on it. So that should drop through there. Then we're up against the front bearing. We need to push the shaft through the front bearing. There we go. And you can see it. And you can see the action of the preload. If you can hear it or not. The springing into the preload bearing. Might see that there. Okay. And next on there is the front spacer. Put the front spacer on the turbine wheel itself, compressor wheel itself. But that is a tight fit on the shaft, so what we need to do is just warm that up before it'll go on. Do the spinning at left hand thread. There we go. Right, that's the compressor wheel on. I need to put the shroud on now around it. That's the shroud. I just want to put, oops, ideally a tiny amount of sealer on here. Yeah, it's got a match mark which matches up with the fuel inlet at the back. Turning, and there's all these fiddly little screws to fix that on. There we go. Right, last little bit on the front is the quick connect for the lube system. And then the fairing. I probably will put these in with thread lock eventually. Stop them rattling loose. But I think the first run may well be without the fairing anyway, so I'll have the first attempt at running it. So I'll leave them loose for now. Not loose, just unthread locked. And just to finish the back off, as the tail cone goes on something like that. It's quite a snug fit in there. So we'll leave it. Go. Let's drop those back in. Okay, there we go. It's the engine as it stands. Talking of which, it's the stand. I haven't got the proper mounting studs yet because I haven't made a base for it. Right, these are just can't see it in there, can you? That's the stand. Just smooth them down for now. And there